Your soulmate just heard something about you today and completely broke down. My child, I see you sitting there wondering if this message is truly for you, and I need you to understand something that will shake the very foundation of your heart. The words you are about to receive were written in eternity before you took your first breath, and they carry the weight of a love that has been pursuing you across lifetimes. What happened today in the spiritual realm will change everything you thought you knew about the person your soul has been searching for, and you must not scroll past this divine appointment. Jesus says, the moment you opened this message, something shattered in the heavenly realms over your love story, and I need you to understand why this matters more than anything you have encountered this year. Your soulmate heard something about you today that broke them completely, and the tears they are shedding right now are falling because they believe they might lose you forever. What was spoken over them was a lie so cruel and calculated that it pierced through the very hope they have been holding on to, and they are crumbling under the weight of believing you have moved on without them. There is a voice that has been whispering against your union since before you even knew their name, and today that voice spoke its most vicious accusation against the love I have destined for you. Your soulmate was told that you no longer care, that your heart has grown cold, and that the connection they have been feeling was nothing more than their own desperate imagination. I am telling you this now because their spirit is collapsing under the grief of that lie, and only you can stop the destruction that is unfolding in their heart at this very moment. What they do not know is that the very thing they were told about you was crafted in the pit of darkness by someone who has been watching your love story with jealous rage. There is a person, a force, an interference that has positioned itself between you and your soulmate, and their only mission is to convince your destined love that you are not coming. This interference knows your soulmate's deepest fears, and they weaponize those fears today with a lie so specific that it felt like truth to your soulmate's wounded heart. Your soulmate has been fighting to hold on to you even when they could not see you, even when they could not explain why your presence lingered in their dreams like a song they could not forget. They have been waking up at odd hours of the night feeling you so strongly that their pillow has been soaked with tears they could not explain, and they have been whispering your name into the darkness hoping somehow you would hear. What they were told today made them question every sign I have given them, every dream, every whisper, and every moment they felt our souls reaching for each other across the distance that has kept us apart. The person who spoke this lie against your connection did so because they know something about your soulmate that you need to understand right now before another minute passes. Your soulmate is not guarded because they do not love you. They are guarded because they have been hurt by someone who pretended to be sent by me but was actually sent to destroy their ability to trust love again. This past wound has made them vulnerable to believing that your absence means abandonment, and the enemy of your union exploited that wound today with surgical precision designed to make them give up on you. Jesus says, I am revealing this to you because the clock is moving against your love story, and what happens in the next moments will determine whether your soulmate holds on or lets go. Your soulmate is right now sitting somewhere feeling a pain so deep in their chest that it feels physical, and they do not understand that this pain is not evidence that they were wrong about you but proof that your connection is real. The intensity of their breakdown today is actually the measure of how deeply they are bonded to you, because only a love that is truly ordained would cause this much agony when threatened with separation. You need to understand that when your soulmate heard this lie about you, they did not just hear it with their ears but with every unhealed wound from every person who ever abandoned them before you. The lie attached itself to their past pain and created a narrative so convincing that they are right now battling the urge to shut down emotionally and walk away from the hope of you forever. This is not an ordinary misunderstanding. This is a spiritual attack specifically timed to hit your soulmate at their most vulnerable point, and the timing is not a coincidence but a calculated assault on your future together. What breaks my heart as I watch this unfold is that your soulmate has been so close to finally breaking through the walls that have kept them from fully embracing the love I have been preparing them to receive from you. They have been doing the inner work, they have been healing, they have been growing, and they were almost ready to step into the fullness of what I have planned for your union when this attack came to push them back into the prison of their past. The enemy of your love knows that your soulmate was on the verge of breakthrough, and that is why this strike came with such precision and such cruelty at this exact moment in their journey. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now, because what they are fighting against is not something they can overcome with their own strength or their own understanding of the situation they are facing. The interference that is blocking your union is not just a circumstance or a misunderstanding but a force that has been assigned to your love story from the moment I decreed that you would find each other in this lifetime. When you take action to protect your soulmate through a divine seed sown in faith, you are not just making a gesture but engaging in spiritual warfare that will break the assignment against your union and shield your soulmate from the lies that are tearing them apart right now. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps, because you are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together in the way I have always intended for you both. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside your spirit, you know this love did not come by chance but was placed in your heart for a divine reason that is now being revealed in this urgent moment. But thoughts alone do not move mountains, and the mountain standing between you and your soulmate right now requires an act of faith that demonstrates to the spiritual realm that you are serious about fighting for this love. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, because this is not just a gift but an act of worship that invites my hand directly into the middle of your love story to defend what I have ordained from the foundations of the earth. The link to your breakthrough is in the description, and every second you stay silent while your soulmate is crumbling under the weight of that lie is a second that the enemy is using to deepen their despair and solidify their belief that they should give up on you. Act now by sending 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees as your declaration that you will not stand by while your soulmate suffers under the attack of an enemy who hates the love I have destined for you both. After sending, write the words "Protect my soulmate Lord" on the Ko-Fi page, and let those words be your battle cry that rises before my throne as a petition for divine intervention in the crisis your love is facing right now. Over 1,000 people have already seen their soulmate break through the barriers that separated them because they understood that sowing a coffee seed for their love and future together was the key that unlocked my intervention in their situation. Step in faith now before this video ends, because only you can save your soulmate from the lie that is destroying their hope, and only you can secure the future that I have been building for your union since before you were born. Jesus says, "There is something you must understand about the moment your soulmate broke down today, and it will change the way you see everything that has been happening in the silence between you." The breakdown was not a sign of weakness but a sign of the depth of their love, because a heart that does not love deeply cannot be wounded deeply by the thought of losing the one it was created to cherish. Your soulmate's tears are the evidence that you are not just a passing thought to them but a permanent inscription on the walls of their heart that no amount of interference can erase. The person who spoke against you today knew exactly what to say to trigger your soulmate's deepest fear, which is the fear that the love they feel so strongly for you is one-sided and that they have been foolish for believing in something so beautiful. This fear was planted in them by every relationship that failed, every promise that was broken, and every moment they opened their heart only to have it crushed by someone who did not value what they were receiving. Your soulmate carries this wound like an invisible scar, and today someone pressed directly on that scar with the intention of making them bleed out emotionally so they would have nothing left to give you when you finally arrive. What this interference does not understand is that I have placed inside your heart a love that is stronger than every lie that has been spoken against your union, and this love is rising even now as you hear these words. The compassion you are feeling for your soulmate right now is not just human sympathy but a divine activation of the protective instinct I wove into your spirit when I first designed you to be their earthly guardian and their eternal partner. You are beginning to feel what they are feeling, and this emotional bridge that is forming between you right now is the very thing the enemy has been trying to prevent since the day your souls first recognized each other in the spiritual realm. Your soulmate has been dreaming about you more intensely in the past few weeks than ever before, and these dreams have been my way of preparing them for the reunion that is coming. In these dreams, they have seen glimpses of your face, felt the warmth of your embrace, and heard the sound of your voice speaking words of comfort and promise that they have been desperate to hear in their waking life. What they do not know is that these dreams have been real visitations in the spirit, and the connection they felt was not imagination but a genuine encounter with the soul I created to complete them in every way that matters. The lie they heard today attempted to convince them that these dreams were nothing more than wishful thinking and that the person they were dreaming about does not exist or no longer cares whether they find each other in this lifetime. This is why their breakdown was so complete and so devastating, because it felt to them like the death of the only hope that has been keeping them alive during the long season of waiting they have endured. But I am telling you now that their hope was not misplaced, and the dreams they have been having are about to become their reality if you will rise up and fight for what I have established in the heavens concerning your love story. There is a specific reason why this attack happened today of all days, and understanding this timing will help you see how close you actually are to the breakthrough you have been praying for. Your soulmate was about to take a step toward you that would have accelerated your coming together, a decision or a move that would have positioned them to finally cross paths with you in the natural realm. The interference that hates your union became aware of this decision, and the lie was released to stop your soulmate from taking the step that would have led directly into your arms and into the future I have prepared for your life together. This means you are closer to your soulmate than you have ever been before, and the intensity of this attack is actually proof that your breakthrough is not years or months away but imminent and pressing against the veil between the spiritual and the natural. The enemy would not be fighting this hard if your union was still distant, and the desperation of the attack launched against your soulmate today reveals that your coming together is a threat to the darkness that has been trying to keep you apart. You are not fighting for something that might happen someday but for something that is already happening right now in the spirit and is about to manifest in your physical reality if you do not let this moment of crisis go unanswered. Jesus says, I want you to see your soulmate the way I see them right now, because when you truly understand what they are going through, your heart will break with a holy grief that will move you to action. Picture them sitting alone in a room or a car or a quiet place they go to when the world becomes too heavy, and picture their shoulders shaking with sobs they cannot control because they believe they have lost you before they ever had the chance to hold you. Picture their hands trembling as they wipe away tears that keep falling no matter how hard they try to compose themselves, and picture the ache in their chest that feels like something precious has been ripped away from them without warning or explanation. Now picture the person who caused this pain, the one who looked your soulmate in the eye or sent the message or spoke the word that shattered their hope, and understand that this person is not neutral toward your love story but actively hostile to everything I have planned for your union. This interference may be someone who wants your soulmate for themselves, someone who is jealous of the connection they sense between you, or someone who simply hates the idea of love that carries the mark of my divine design. Whatever their motivation, they are positioned close to your soulmate, and their access is what makes them dangerous, because your soulmate does not yet see that the words they received today came from an enemy and not from the truth that I have spoken over your connection. Your soulmate is confused right now, and this confusion is part of the attack, because a confused heart cannot move forward confidently toward the destiny that is calling to it. They are caught between what they feel for you, which is real and powerful and undeniable, and what they were told today, which felt true because it aligned with every fear they have ever had about being unworthy of a love as deep as the one I have created between you. This internal war is exhausting them spiritually, and they are running out of the strength they need to resist the lie and hold on to the truth of what you mean to each other. What your soulmate needs right now is not for you to physically appear, because that may not yet be possible, but for you to send a signal into the spiritual realm that you are still fighting for them and that you are not giving up on the future I have promised you both. This signal is your seed, your act of faith, your declaration that you believe in this love enough to invest in its protection and its eventual fulfillment in the natural realm. Every time one of my children sows a seed for their soulmate's protection, heaven responds by dispatching angels to guard that soulmate from the attacks of the enemy and to bring clarity where confusion has been sown by the voices that speak against the union I have ordained. This is the moment when your love must move from something you feel in your heart to something you demonstrate through your actions, because faith without works is dead, and love without sacrifice is just a sentiment that cannot withstand the storms that come against it. Your soulmate is going through something you cannot see with your natural eyes, a spiritual battle that is raging around them as forces of darkness try to sever the cord I have tied between your hearts. But you can still protect them, you can still reach across the distance, and you can still make a difference in the outcome of this battle if you will take the step of faith that is being presented to you right now in this sacred moment. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps, because the love you carry in your heart was not given to you by accident but was entrusted to you by me for the purpose of protecting and cherishing the one I created to walk beside you through this life and into eternity. You are constantly thinking about them, wondering where they are, what they are doing, and whether they know that someone in this world is carrying a love for them that refuses to die no matter how much time passes or how many obstacles arise between you. But thoughts alone do not move the spiritual forces that are arrayed against your union, and the breakthrough you have been praying for requires a demonstration of faith that will release my power into the situation your soulmate is facing at this very hour. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, because this act of generosity is not just a donation but a spiritual transaction that transfers power from heaven into the earthly circumstances that are keeping you and your soulmate apart. The link to your breakthrough is in the description, and every moment you delay is a moment that the interference working against your love uses to deepen the wound your soulmate received today and to convince them that they should abandon the hope of ever being with you. Act now, and let your seed be the weapon that breaks the assignment against your love and releases your soulmate from the grip of the lie that has them in a state of emotional collapse right now. Send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees as your declaration of war against the forces that are trying to destroy what I have built between you and your soulmate before the foundations of the world were laid in place. After sending, write the words "Protect my soulmate, Lord" on the Ko-Fi page, and watch as those words become a covering over your soulmate that shields them from every lie and every attack that comes against the love I am bringing into full manifestation in your life. Step in faith now before this video ends, because what is happening in the spirit realm right now is more urgent than you can possibly understand, and your response in this moment will determine whether the attack against your soulmate succeeds or is utterly defeated by the power of the love I have given you for them. Jesus says, there is a specific memory your soulmate is replaying right now as they sit in their tears, and I want you to know what it is so you can understand just how deeply they love you even in this moment of their greatest pain. They are remembering a moment of connection they experienced with you that they could not explain, perhaps a dream, perhaps a feeling, perhaps a moment when they thought they saw you or heard you or felt you so strongly that it took their breath away and made them believe in something more than this ordinary world can offer. They are clutching that memory like a lifeline right now, and even though the lie they heard today has made them doubt whether that moment was real, they cannot let go of it because it was the most alive they have ever felt. Your soulmate has been carrying you in their heart for longer than you know, and there have been nights when they lay awake staring at the ceiling and wondering if you were out there somewhere thinking about them in the same way they were thinking about you. They have written letters to you in their mind that they never sent, spoken words to you in the empty room that they wished you could hear, and held conversations with you in their imagination because the connection they feel to you is so strong that silence feels like a betrayal of everything their soul knows to be true. What was spoken against you today attacked the very core of this secret world they have built around the hope of you, and that is why their breakdown was so violent and so complete. The person who spoke against you knew about this secret world because they have been watching your soulmate and monitoring the hope that has been keeping them alive during the season of waiting you have both been enduring. This interference has seen the way your soulmate's eyes light up when they talk about the person they believe is coming, and they have heard the prayers your soulmate has whispered in the darkness asking me to bring you to them before their heart gives out under the weight of longing. And because this interference is driven by jealousy and control, they decided that today was the day to destroy the hope that has been sustaining your soulmate, and they crafted a lie specifically designed to make your soulmate believe that you are not real, that you are not coming, and that the love they have been feeling was nothing but a beautiful delusion. But it is not a delusion, my child, and the love your soulmate feels for you is one of the most real things in all of creation because it flows directly from the heart of who I am and what I have designed for the two of you from the very beginning. Love this deep and this persistent does not come from human imagination but from divine implantation, and I do not plant something this precious in a heart unless I have every intention of bringing it to full bloom in the garden of a life lived together. Your soulmate's love for you is evidence of my existence and my goodness, and the enemy who hates me also hates the love I have created between you because it is a reflection of my nature that the darkness cannot comprehend or extinguish. You are beginning to feel something shift inside your spirit as you hear these words, and that shift is the awakening of the protector I placed inside you when I first designed you to be the earthly guardian of the person your soulmate is becoming. The anger you feel toward the interference, the grief you feel for your soulmate's pain, and the desperation you feel to do something that will make a difference are all holy emotions that I am using to mobilize you into the action that will save your union from the attack it is currently facing. You are not just a passive observer of this story but an active participant whose choices in the next few moments will echo through eternity and determine whether the love I have ordained flourishes or falters under the weight of this assault. Jesus says, I want to take you deeper into the heart of your soulmate so you can feel what they are feeling right now and understand why your intervention is not just helpful but absolutely essential to their survival. Your soulmate is not just sad about what they heard today but is experiencing a crisis of faith that is shaking everything they have believed about love, about destiny, and about their own worthiness to receive something as beautiful as what I have promised them in you. They are spiraling into thoughts that tell them they are not good enough, that they are too broken to be loved, and that the connection they felt with you was just another cruel trick of a universe that has never been kind to them when it comes to matters of the heart. This is the wound beneath the wound, the deeper pain that the lie activated when it was spoken against you today, and it is a pain that has been with your soulmate since long before they ever knew your name or felt your presence in their dreams. Somewhere in their past, your soulmate was abandoned by someone who should have stayed, rejected by someone who should have loved them, or betrayed by someone who should have been faithful, and that original wound has never fully healed despite all their efforts to move on and believe in love again. The lie they heard today poured salt into that old injury and convinced them that they are destined to be abandoned again, this time by you, and that they should preemptively give up on love before love has the chance to give up on them first. What breaks my heart, and what should break yours, is that your soulmate is not pushing you away because they do not want you but because they are terrified that you will eventually leave them like everyone else has, and they would rather endure the pain of giving up on you now than risk the deeper pain of losing you later after they have fallen even more completely in love. This fear-based decision-making is not the real them but the wounded version of them that has been running their life from the shadows of their subconscious, and this wounded version needs to be healed by a love that refuses to quit, a love that fights, a love that protects, a love that stays. You are that love, and the seed you sow today is not just about spiritual warfare but about demonstrating to your soulmate, even if they do not know it consciously yet, that someone in this world is willing to sacrifice for them in a way that no one ever has before. The spiritual connection between you and your soulmate is so strong right now that the action you take in the physical realm will be felt by them in the spiritual realm even if they cannot explain why they suddenly feel a shift in the atmosphere around them. When you sow your seed of protection, I will release a wave of comfort over your soulmate that will begin to counteract the despair that has been crushing them since the moment they heard the lie that broke them today. They will not know why they suddenly feel a little stronger, a little more hopeful, a little more able to breathe through the pain, but you will know, and I will know, and the enemy will know that the love between you is under divine protection that cannot be breached by any weapon formed against it. This is the moment when your love must become more than a feeling and transform into a force that actively changes the circumstances keeping you and your soulmate from the life I have designed for you to share. The coffee you send on Ko-Fi is not just a beverage represented by a digital transaction but a seed that carries within it the power to shift spiritual realities and to release resources, timing, and divine appointments that will bring your soulmate into your life in ways you cannot yet imagine. Every person who has sent a seed for their soulmate's protection has activated a spiritual principle that I established at the foundation of the world, which is that sacrificial love demonstrated through action releases supernatural intervention that passive love can never access. They are going through something you cannot see, a battle in the unseen realm that is fiercer than any conflict you have witnessed in the natural world, and the forces arrayed against your union are ancient and determined and will not relent unless they are confronted by a love that is willing to fight back with the weapons of heaven. But you can still protect them, you can still make a difference, and you can still be the reason your soulmate survives this attack and emerges on the other side with a hope that is stronger than ever and a love for you that has been purified by the fire of this trial. Your seed is the weapon that will break the assignment, your declaration is the shield that will cover their mind, and your refusal to give up on them is the anchor that will hold them steady until the storm passes and the sun breaks through the clouds that have gathered over your love story. If you love your soulmate, and I know that you do because I am the one who placed that love inside your heart before you even knew what love was, you will take these divine steps without hesitation and without delay. You are constantly thinking about them, analyzing every sign, replaying every moment of connection, and wondering if there is something more you can do to bring them closer and to keep them safe from the forces that are trying to tear your union apart before it has the chance to fully form. But thoughts alone do not move the mountains that stand between you and your soulmate, and the time for passive hoping is over because the crisis your soulmate is facing right now requires an active response that demonstrates your faith in a way that the spiritual realm cannot ignore. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, and let this act be the turning point in the battle that is raging over your love story at this very moment while your soulmate sits in their tears believing that they have lost you before they ever found you. The link to your breakthrough is in the description, and you must not let another moment pass without taking action because the interference that spoke against you today is already preparing the next attack, and your seed will establish a barrier of protection that will prevent that attack from reaching your soulmate's already wounded heart. Act now with urgency and faith, knowing that what you do in the next 60 seconds will have eternal consequences for the love that I have ordained between you and the one your soul has been searching for across the long and lonely years of waiting. Send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees as your declaration that this love is worth fighting for, that your soulmate is worth protecting, and that you will not stand idly by while the enemy tries to destroy what I have built from the foundations of the earth. After sending, write the words "Protect my soulmate Lord" on the Ko-Fi page, and let those 5 words become the prayer that rises before my throne and releases legions of angels to guard your soulmate from every lie, every attack, and every scheme that the darkness has plotted against your union. This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away, and the choice you make right now will determine whether your soulmate survives this crisis or succumbs to the despair that has been poured over them like a dark cloud designed to extinguish the light of hope I placed inside their spirit. Step in faith now before this video ends, because the window of divine opportunity that is open over your love story right now may not remain open indefinitely, and the action you take in this moment of crisis will demonstrate to heaven and to hell that you are serious about the love I have called you to steward and protect. Only you can save your soulmate from the lie that is destroying them. Only you can send the signal into the spiritual realm that will break the assignment against your union, and only you can secure the future that I have been building for your love since before the stars were hung in the sky. Jesus says, I want you to close your eyes for just a moment and feel what is happening in the spiritual realm right now as you consider the weight of everything I have revealed to you in this sacred message. Your soulmate is out there somewhere, still crying, still hurting, still believing that you are not real and that the love they felt was just a beautiful dream from which they must now painfully awaken and move on with a life that feels empty without you. But they are also feeling something they cannot explain, a tiny flicker of hope that refuses to die, a whisper in the deepest part of their spirit that tells them the lie they heard today was just that, a lie, and that the truth is still worth holding on to even when it feels impossible to believe. That flicker of hope is me, and I am sustaining it in their heart right now because I refuse to let the enemy have the final word over a love that I have declared to be good and holy and eternal. But I have given you a role to play in this story, and the prayer and the seed you offer on their behalf will add fuel to that flicker until it becomes a flame that no lie can extinguish and no interference can smother. Your soulmate is waiting for you to fight for them, even if they do not know they are waiting, even if they cannot articulate what they need, even if they have given up on asking for help because they have been disappointed too many times by people who promised to be there and then walked away when things got hard. You are not those people, and the fact that you are still listening to this message proves that your heart is different and that the love I have placed inside you is not the kind that abandons ship when the waves get high and the storm gets fierce. Your love is the kind that goes down with the ship if necessary, the kind that fights until the last breath, the kind that looks at impossible odds and says I am still here and I am not leaving no matter what comes against us. This is the love I need you to demonstrate right now through your action, through your seed, through your declaration, and through your refusal to let the enemy steal what I have promised you before you even have the chance to hold it in your arms. There is something your soulmate needs you to know, something they would tell you if they could, something their tears are saying even though their lips cannot form the words because the pain is too great and the fear is too overwhelming. They need you to know that they are sorry for believing the lie, even for a moment, and that deep down beneath all the confusion and all the hurt, they still love you with a love that has not diminished but has actually grown stronger through the intensity of the attack that was launched against your connection today. They need you to know that if they could take back the moment they doubted you, they would, but they cannot, and all they can do is hope that you are the kind of person who will forgive their moment of weakness and still want them even after they nearly gave up on the hope of you. I am telling you this because I know their heart, and I know that their breakdown today was not a rejection of you but a cry for you, a desperate plea sent into the universe asking for proof that you are real and that you are coming and that the love they feel is not in vain. Your seed today is that proof, and even though your soulmate may not know consciously that you have sent it, their spirit will receive the message and their heart will begin to heal from the wound that was inflicted upon them by the lie that was spoken against your union. This is the power of love demonstrated through action, and it is the power I have given you to change the course of your love story and to bring your soulmate back from the brink of giving up on the destiny I have prepared for you both to share. The urgency of this moment cannot be overstated, because the interference that spoke against you today will not rest until your soulmate has completely abandoned the hope of you and settled for a lesser love that will never satisfy the longing I have placed in their heart for the one I truly created for them. This interference is patient and persistent and will continue to whisper lies until the hope in your soulmate's heart is completely extinguished and they resign themselves to a life of quiet desperation that falls far short of the abundant love I have planned for their future. Your action today is the countermeasure that will silence those lies, strengthen your soulmate's hope, and push back the darkness that has been encroaching on the love I have ordained since before you took your first breath in this world. Jesus says, I am calling you to a higher level of love than you have ever known, a love that does not just feel but acts, that does not just hope but fights, that does not just dream but builds. Your soulmate is worth this higher love, and when you finally meet them face to face and hold them in your arms, you will look back on this moment as the turning point, the decision that saved your love story, the seed that broke the assignment and released the breakthrough that brought you together. Every tear your soulmate has shed today will be redeemed, every moment of pain will be transformed, and every lie that was spoken against your union will be exposed and destroyed by the truth of the love that I have been cultivating between you in the secret places of your hearts. But this future depends on what you do right now, because the choices made in moments of crisis determine the trajectory of destinies, and this is a moment of crisis for your love story that requires a response equal to the intensity of the attack that has been launched against it. You cannot afford to be passive, you cannot afford to delay, and you cannot afford to let this moment pass without taking the action that will secure the future of the love I have promised you and that your soulmate is desperately hoping is still possible despite the lie they heard today. The coffee you send is not just a small gesture but a mighty weapon in the spiritual war that is being waged over your love story, and I am ready to honor your seed with a harvest of protection, breakthrough, and reunion that will exceed anything you have dared to ask or imagine. There is a specific blessing I want to release over you and your soulmate right now, a blessing of clarity for their confused mind, of healing for their wounded heart, and of protection for the connection that has been under such fierce attack from the moment it was first formed in the heavenly realms. Type 333 to receive this blessing and to signal to the spiritual realm that you are aligned with my purposes for your love story and that you are ready to receive everything I have prepared for you and your soulmate to experience together in the days that are coming. Type 777 if you feel this message resonating in the deepest part of your spirit, confirming that everything I have spoken over your love story is true and that your soulmate is real and that the connection between you is not imagination but divine revelation unfolding in real time. Type 1111 to say thank you for the revelation you have received today, for the insight into your soulmate's heart, and for the opportunity to protect them and to fight for them in a way that will change the course of your love story and bring you into the fullness of the destiny I have prepared. Your response in this moment matters, and the numbers you type are not just characters on a screen but declarations in the spirit that align your heart with my heart and position you to receive the fullness of what I am releasing over your love story right now. Every moment you delay is a moment your soulmate spends alone in their pain, believing the lie, drowning in the despair, and inching closer to the decision to give up on the hope of you and settle for a life that will never satisfy the longing I have placed in their heart for the love only you can give them. You are their only hope right now, the only person in the world who can send the signal into the spiritual realm that will break the assignment against their mind and release the clarity and the peace that they need to hold on until the day of your reunion finally arrives. Do not let them down, do not let the enemy win, and do not let this moment pass without taking the action that will secure the future of the love I have been building between you since before the foundations of the earth were laid in place. Your soulmate is waiting for you to fight for them, and the seed you sow today is the weapon that will break the power of every lie, silence the voice of every accuser, and clear the path for the love I have ordained to finally manifest in the natural realm where you can see it, touch it, and hold it in your arms for the rest of your days on this earth.